she actually wandered off. Okay, Megan, this is Show Daily Podcast 2, or rather, sorry, Lucy, because you're not here. This is Show Daily Podcast 2. Hello and welcome to the second RotorHub International Daily Podcast, live from European Rotors. With me today is David Smith, President and CEO of Robinson Helicopter, Jude Brazendale, who is a writer and author, and Jon Davison, who is a photographer. And you may be asking yourself, why have I got this eclectic mix of individuals joining us today? And the answer is, very simply, an extraordinary book called Climb Higher. I have a copy, you can't see it, of course, sitting in front of me, and I have to say, even from the get-go, even from the cover, is a staggering image of an R-44 in front of an iceberg, and it is just breathtaking. It's the sort of thing that, sort of image you wouldn't believe, but it's an extraordinary thing. As a piece of art, I've had a chance to flick through it. It is a piece of art, but David, you guys built helicopters. What motivated you to develop this?
I mean, first thing is, we're lucky that years ago, Jon chose to tell a story with his gift of photography about our customers and the people that fly them all over the world. And he had done that in a book called Robbie that we all love in the factory, and appreciate how broad and how unique the different missions were he selected during that process. And so we thought about this when we were doing our Climb Higher program to tell the stories of customers visually. And so it was a natural fit. Jon happened to be available and was willing to do this adventure with us. And ultimately, we know what we're good at, and one thing we're not good at is the creative writing and the pulling out of the narrative story. And so Jude played a significant role in capturing this in story form or in narrative form. I think that's such an important piece of this. It's a nice harmony of the visual, which are stunning themselves, but then the words are equally stunning, but in a different way. And so I think people are going to really enjoy it. And so it's not our domain, it's not our specialty, but it is something we want to tell the stories of all these customers that have had such success built on a Robinson platform. So it's trying to then, again, give people a perspective on how you can be successful with a light helicopter, creating entire economies and jobs. And so I think it's ultimately very successful at sharing that from a tactical side and from an emotional side too. So it's really impressive what they've done.
Thank you. Jude and Jon, I mean, come on. Something like this, this is not a 5-minute job, is it?
No.
This is a serious enterprise.
Not a 5-minute job.
Walk us through how you took this vision and made it reality.
Well, two timelines really. The project itself took a year, October to October. That's from the first contract to delivery of books. The actual shooting and gathering of material was 7 months. Basically a week in each place, non-stop. A week, so 21 stories, a week in each place.
And how did you sort of arrive at where the stories were going to come from?
Well, the people who answered my email are in the book. Pretty much. I mean,
you don't have to welcome.
There's some great examples of folks that were featured in the first book, and they've had a whole life and a whole generation of Robinson time in between, and so it's interesting to see both chapters of their story. And then there's others that are new that maybe are say newer, younger aviators to our family of Robinson products. And so those stories are interwoven with people who've now been on 2 or 3 generations of Robinson products. So it's really an interesting mix of the stories that were put forward in here,
And there's also connections within the stories as well. For example, people like Q Smith, who trained the Japanese team in the World Aerobatics Championships.
Yep.
So they've got the connection, and one of their pilots in South Africa, he trained with Kathy Press and did his
Chinook in Canada.
did his CPL in
so it's nice
Canada.
crossover.
So there were
organic.
as it's not, I suppose it's not that unsurprising really that there would be connections. It's a small world, but but it's nice to
aviation is
encounter
smaller,
them.
helicopters are even
Yeah.
smaller as a world, as you
Yeah.
say. But Jude, I'm kind of interested, because I put together words for a living too, so naturally I'm biased. Beautiful though the images are, thinking about the words and telling the story. How did you draw it? Were you driven by the imagery and then making a story, or was it chicken or egg, I guess?
Yeah, well, I guess it was a bit of both. Obviously, Jon's photography influenced me somewhat, but also as we met people in each place, we got to know them a little bit, and it wasn't usually until towards the end of our stay there that I got the opportunity to do an interview with them. So the stories are all based on interviews, and by that stage I sort of sussed out their personalities a little bit and what they did, their backyard, all of that sort of thing. So I could combine all of that to create hopefully a nice, readable and entertaining story.
And having flown with them, you can then see where they fit into their landscape,
Yeah.
which is quite interesting. How they use their machines,
Yeah.
the capability of these machines were extraordinary. So how they do them in all different terrains
Yeah.
and altitudes.
And altitudes.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
I think Jude, she put her own personality. It is the interview, but through her unique sense of humour.
Yes, yes.
But
Throughout.
also, I was so struck everywhere we went by how passionate everyone was.
Yeah.
Passionate about flying, about helicopters, and obviously about Robinson helicopters. So it wasn't hard really to write stories like that.
These people were
because
enthusing. It's hard not
they
to.
were keen.
It's hard not to be absorbed by the story when, as you said, there is that latent enthusiasm.
Yeah.
It's like a club too, like a Robinson club, and people, the passion of belonging to that club, and knowing what these things can do. They knew their envelope, they knew the envelope of the machine. When you put those together, you've got a rather unique. I can't explain it.
I think that's one of the things we want to unpack and to show people, and it gives people a sense. We've had our fair share, or unfair share, I'd say, of people that judge our product having never flown it. And if we can just bottle up things like this, of how passionate and how committed people are that do it every day, then it will change how our brand is perceived out there. And I think that's the piece that we're gonna try to communicate in every avenue possible. A lot of what Jon's trying to describe of the club feeling and the fact that people are so passionate, so committed to the product and brand. We love that. We have the best customers in the world.
And also, everyone was very, very safety conscious.
Yes.
We didn't meet any
That's right.
cowboys at all. They
Yes.
were all
No cowboys,
very
no.
careful. So I was impressed
And the
by that.
level of
as well.
training was really intense, I think.
Yeah.
And level of safety, people like Johnny Greenwell
Oh yeah.
and Hugh.
Yeah. Well, it'd be funny enough, Q and I were on the same flight coming out to Cologne on Sunday, so we did talk a little bit about the book, and I told him.
I think that one of the things that it's an understated aspect of if you make your aircraft simple enough to where you could fly it every day, you could be proficient every day. And I think there's a lot of aircraft that's not the option. They have maintenance issues that keep the aircraft from flying all the time. And so I think that is one of the things we hope to drive with all of our products, and that's why people are so safety conscious, and it's part of who they are, and they fly all the time. It's like
Yes,
driving,
it's the endless thing of recency.
Yes.
The value of recency, the safety point of the and that's a given. It's unquestionable. Guys, once again, it is an extraordinary book to look. It is a piece of art. It truly is. I wish my colleague Grace was on the stand, because then we could have had the Mara off, because we have in our current edition.
Exactly.
We have one of Jon's images.
Yes.
And it would have been quite fun to have Grace and
Compare
Jude
notes.
having Mara off and talking about that project, which is just a great
Mara's
example.
fantastic, right?
It's a great example of the things that people do with
With
those
Robinson
helicopters.
helicopters,
And how they've made this extraordinary thing happen. We had to arm wrestle for who got to do that story.
Yeah.
There's two examples of Roy's working with animals. There's the Mara with animals, and the Storm heli works in Sweden, herding reindeer.
Yeah.
So they're quite two iconic, but quite rare
Things.
animals
Very
that you
unusual,
see in
right?
Europe. I mean,
Very unusual.
It is an extraordinary thing. Yeah.
and getting down low and dirty. I mean, that was
Yeah, getting down amongst it.
yeah. Well, look at that picture.
That's another good shot. That's even photography.
I mean, you gotta, if you're tranquilizing elephant, he's got to be a
He's
metre
gotta
below
be
you.
right there,
If that.
yeah.
You've got to get it in the right place.
Yeah.
So you can't do it from height. You've got to have good pilots.
Getting close.
Good elephants.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to.
Team playing elephants.
And rescuing a guy in the Mara River in the rain.
Yeah,
That was
caught by a hippo, and they've got to get in there, pull them out.
Extraordinary thing. Guys, it's been a delight to talk with you about the book. You know, this is something that should be in every helicopter freak's Christmas stocking.
Let's hope so.
No question about it. Unfortunately, unless you're here at European Rotors, you'll have to wait till January to get it. But if you are fortunate enough to be here at European Rotors, you can get a copy at the Robinson stand. If anybody wants to get my Christmas present, Grace has just arrived. So,
And if you can get here before it closes, we will sign it for you.
it'll even be
But
fun.
we won't be here tomorrow.
Yeah, just
And actually, just before we close out, my colleague Grace, who wrote the story about the Mara project in our magazine, and Jude, who wrote about the Mara project in the book
In this
here,
book.
and used one of John's pictures in your story.
3.
Yeah, your pictures were amazing.
Thank you. Well, they're in the book.
Yeah, it was lovely
Yeah.
to meet you.
John, hi. And
Hello,
and
Jude. Hello, Grace. You too.
So Jude, John and Grace are going to talk Mara Elephant. We unfortunately run out of time because this is just the Show Daily podcast. David and I are probably going to go talk about helicopter things. But for now, Jude, John, David, thanks very much for spending the time to come in here.
Thank you for having us.
And,
Thank you. It was a
talk
pleasure.
about this extraordinary piece of art that is Climb Higher. Thanks very much. That's been another edition of the Daily Podcast live from European Rotors. Join us again tomorrow.
Thank you.
Boom.